Captain Dean Show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Dean Show. I'm Captain Dean, and I sold all of my bases. But one I still have. Ha. This one in particular doesn't have a lot to tell. There's not a great story here. I didn't achieve getting this for cheap off Facebook Marketplace or anything like that. I didn't buy it and strip it down and paint it. I didn't put stickers all over it. Yet another bass I actually bought brand new and left completely alone. And that bass is this one. Ha! This is my Sterling StingRay Bass, which is the cheaper model of the Ernie Ball Music Man StingRay, I believe is what they call. I don't really know. I have played a few of these in the past, and the Music Mans are just beautiful, but I'm not going to pay a couple grand for a bass guitar because I'm not a famous touring musician, and therefore I really don't deserve that. I played some of these early on when I started playing bass full time again around 2014, 15, something like that. And it was the Sub brand. It said Sub right here. I'm really not 100% sure what that is. I didn't like the neck. I thought the neck was too wide, and it felt weird to go from playing a P bass all the time, and at that point I'd played a couple of jazz basses too, to playing something that had just a really, flat square neck, it seemed like. But then this one came along, and I played it, and it felt like a jazz neck, but all the way. It doesn't seem to taper at all. It seems to be consistent, the same from here to here. It's not that much difference in it. But I walked in my local music store that I happened to work next door to one day, called Music and Arts. I walked in the door, and this bass was hanging on the wall. And I sat down and started playing it because I liked everything about it. I liked the price. It was around $300 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was like $280 or $275 on sale. Whatever it was on sale. I remember that. And I started playing it through an amp, and I was like, wow, this actually feels pretty good. And so I took a picture with it. And I posted that picture on my social media pages and said, hey, if anybody wants to give me $300, I would really appreciate it, and I'll buy this bass. Well, that didn't happen. What happened was they told me that they were offering a special at that point, that if you signed up to get the Music and Arts credit card, that you could pay monthly on this for I think it's like $11 a month or something like that, for a certain span of time. And if I'm not mistaken, it's paid off, or it's almost paid off. But whatever the case, I ended up getting the very bass that was hanging on the wall, and I would go in and play on occasionally. Finally, one day I just walked in there and said, let me see if I can sign up for this card. And I got approved, and I walked out of the store with this. So this is my Minty Fresh StingRay bass. I do have another StingRay bass shape, as you've seen in a previous episode, the Minnie Mouse bass that I have, the red one with the white polka dots on it. And, that's a cheaper model. The pickup sounds kind of muddy to me. It's not active. And it's fun to play that bass, but I really don't use it live very much. But when I got this one, I had to really take a minute to understand what I was dealing with. The pickup on this is active. It has a 9-volt battery back here. And I'm not used to that. All the other basses I've owned up to this point were all just standard plug in and play. So it took me a while to learn the power of what comes out of these things. And there's a knob here that you can turn, and yeah, it's this one. You can have it really thick and heavy. You can have it really toned back and kind of on the lighter side. You can put it right in the middle and get a little bit of both. So it's kind of cool because this one humbucker pickup and this can have different sounds coming out of it if you sit here and tinker with the knob. I pretty much keep it center and the volume and tone wide open. And I remember we played a show, and after like the second or third song, I mean, my entire body was just jolting with energy because this thing really puts out some heat. And you know, again, I was only used to standard pickups, or Seymour Duncan quarter pounders are in a pretty good chunk of most of my basses, and that has power, but not quite like this. I mean, I would hit certain notes like the G and it would just jar, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So it's cool to play. I'm used to my thumb resting here, but on this one it goes back a little bit further. And so there's just a lot of things that I had to get used to on it. It has this weird bridge that I'm not used to that either. So sometimes my hand will hit that little flap right there. I really, like, it's cool, but I don't really understand the point of it. I guess if you're playing with a pick, like back here, you could rest your hand there. But to me, that's a little too far back for a pick. So anyway, not much of a story to it. I don't even know if it's got a date on it. But anyway, I bought it brand new, and I only have a few basses that I bought brand new, and I'm the only owner of this one and my Squier 51P and my Fender Electron Green P bass. Those are the only 3 basses I've bought that were brand new. And so that's pretty cool to have something that is 100% yours. And I play it. I don't play it a lot. I don't play it as much as I should after going through the trouble to put it on a credit card and everything. But I love the color, and I actually like the white pickguard to go with that greenish color to it. Of course, everyone's like, put a black pickguard on it. Some people were like, put an MXPX on it. And I'm like, no, that's for you. I'm going to leave it alone. I did quickly debate, should I put a sticker on it, maybe here, maybe something in the middle, and I decided no. Leave it alone. Leave it as is. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love how comfortable the neck is. I love how comfortable it plays. I actually sanded lightly on the back of the neck with some sandpaper because it was a little too rough for me when I first got it. But other than that, I've really done nothing to it. I changed the battery immediately to put in a different battery because who knows how long it had been in there at that point. And of course, I've changed the strap lock buttons off and put on my trusty $3 strap locks. But that's it. That's all there is to it, people. Minty fresh StingRay Bass. Woo! The first time I ever saw a bass in this shape had to probably be Cliff Williams from AC/DC. I remember seeing a couple of videos when I was younger, and I just noticed that that bass had a different look to it. The pickguard really stood out to me, and it was, you know, pretty recognizable even at a young age. And then around the 90s and so, definitely remember Flea using one on the Blood Sugar Sex Magic album, and he used it in a couple of the videos. Michael Anthony had a Music Man, also a black on black Music Man like Flea did during the Carnal Knowledge era of '91. And, you know, of course, later on when I started getting heavier into punk rock and pop punk, Mike from MXPX is known for having one of these. And Mark Hoppus in the early days also was using a StingRay bass. And I don't know, it didn't jump out at me at first. I mean, I thought they were cool. I played a few, didn't think much of it. I just was more comfortable on the Fender P than anything. But as time's gone on and as I've kept playing bass full time, it was nice to finally start getting other things like a jazz bass and then the Jaguar bass. And then eventually I was like, if I'm going to get something different, I'm going to get a StingRay. So I'm really happy I have this. And again, the Minnie Mouse bass that I have, that was more of a cheap bass I got, and I had an idea to do something fun with it by doing the polka dot theme and everything. If I put a better pickup in that bass and maybe even put a better neck on it, it would probably be worth playing. But it was just more of a knockoff to this, so it didn't really give me the satisfaction of what it should have, thinking, oh, I finally have a Music Man StingRay style bass. You know, it was more something cool, something fun to play, but it wasn't part of my main arsenal. It didn't really sound the way I'd prefer a bass to sound for some reason. So some basses I have are fun. They're cool projects, and they kind of end up on the wall just to be art pieces and stuff. So anyway, this is it. My true StingRay Minty Fresh bass. If I'm not mistaken, this is a 2023 Sterling StingRay bass. I call it Minty Fresh. I'm not a big fan of the bridge, but overall it's pretty comfortable to play if my hand falls in the right place. It did take me a while to get used to this. It's completely different from a Fender P, and the neck feels more like a Fender jazz bass. I absolutely love the rumble and the roar that I can get out of that pickup. That thing is a beast. No stickers, no nothing. Just plain and minty fresh. Do 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 do. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 boo boo ba ba da ba 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 do 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 ba one ba 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 da ba ba da 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 ba ba da ba ba da ba ba do 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 ba 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 ah do 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 ba do 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 do